So in this first exercise, we're going to display and symbolize spatial data in QGIS. First of all, we'll look at an existing project to see how data can be symbolized, and then the second part we'll start with a blank project, add our own data, and then change some of the symbolization. Start QGIS. Then select project and open, and browse to the location where you saved the data, and Exercise1, and to the New Zealand 1 million geology dataset, and open NZL_1M_geology. So it takes a little while to display the data. So first of all, look in our layers list. We can see a number of layers grayed out and a number of layers that are dark. Those ones that are grayed out because there's a scale set on them and they're not being displayed because we haven't reached that resolution yet. But notice that also we have this paperclip symbol on this last layer under digital elevation models. That indicates that actually there's several layers grouped underneath this, and we can see them here, 2 of which are turned on and 1 which is not displaying at the present time. So let's open each layer and see how it's being displayed. So if you click on the little dialog there, we can see colors being showed for what's called the shade model, and a bunch of blue colors being showed for the digital elevation model. If we were to actually right click on it and choose properties, we would get to the properties dialog box, and we could choose style, and we could see that this is being rendered using a single band pseudo color and how the colors are being applied to the different values in the elevation data. We can also see the same information here. So this is a single band grey image going from black to white, and it's got the minimum and maximum values that's being displayed. So you can see if I turn off this blue raster, we just get left with the grey and geology over the top. If I turn off the grey, we just get left with the blue, but the combination of both give you the impression of depth with changing blues and also with the shade showing sort of a semi-sun illumination. The only other setting that's important in this set of layers is that if we go to the shade model and we look at transparency, this layer is set to be 65–70% transparent. Therefore you can see the blues through the shades of grey, and that's why it provides a combination of the two raster data sets. We'll just close those up. If you want to get to the properties quickly, you can just double click on the layer in the layers list and you'll get directly there. So we'll see there's also a layer here. As I said, it's grayed out and we don't see anything. If I turn that layer on and off, nothing changes. However, if I was to zoom in on the piece of land, we can see that the layer is present here. Now it's visible here, and if I turn it off, we go back to the cruder elevation model. It's part of the bathymetric shade model. So this layer now has turned on. If I right click on it and go to properties and I go to the general tab, I can see when it'll turn on and when it'll turn off if I wish it to. You can also see that we've got roads appearing in the data now and some other features, faults and boundaries to our geological units, because we're now zoomed in close enough so all of these layers are now visible. If we select the roads data set and go to the properties and go to style, we can see that it's being shown with a single symbol, one symbol for every road, doesn't matter what the type. If we were to go to the geological boundaries and look at the properties, we can see that a rule-based system is being used. So a faulted contact has no symbol, a standard depositional contact has a dash symbol, so we can define how different contexts in the geology will be shown based on a rule that accesses one of the fields that's in the data set. And we'll look at how to do that later. If we go to the faults layer, again it's a rule-based one, just showing active faults in brown and inactive faults in black. And for the geological units, we again use a rule-based system, and we're just applying colour based on the geological unit being displayed. So that's a geological project with data in it being displayed, showing the geology of the whole of New Zealand. Just a quick look at Wellington. So there's the Wellington Fault running up through the Hutt Valley. The yellow are the sediments of the Hutt Valley, and the blues are the hard rocks around the valley. So this data set is the 1:1 million geological map of New Zealand. We'll close this project now without saving, and then we'll look at how we can create a project similar to that by adding data and then defining rules as to how that data will be displayed.